Taurus. Let's now have a look at what's coming up around the situation. Will they come back? Will they resurface? When and how? And anything else we can learn about this connection. So about this person and this connection that you've shared. Taurus. Okay, so we have the time of Aries that has come up. So Aries season with the Emperor. So for some of you people out there, there will be someone who resurfaces around the time of Aries, or a new significant chapter will be available between the both of you. Now, I always find it auspicious when aces come up in the cards, and often associate it with the chance to reconnect in a very powerful way. Now, I do feel with the ace coming up here, there's like an opportunity for the two of you to reconnect. And the Queen of Pentacles is here. She's the last queen of the deck. And for me, she does represent a lot of stability. And she's much more settled. So I actually think the next time around you connect with this person, you'll actually be more settled with each other, Taurus. Not only financially, but also like with what you want in the future. Because anxiety is going to be dissipated. With the Eight of Swords. This notion of the blindfold on, I feel like it could come very unexpectedly. So they might do like a complete 180. But I feel like with the Emperor reversed, this is like stubbornness. It's almost like you might experience some of this. The Emperor, again, I still feel like it's the need for power and control, especially if he's reversed. I don't know if someone needs to drop that ego. I find like the Emperor to be quite ego-driven, and I guess he has a right to be this way. He's been sort of primed to be this way. So I don't know if it's something around ego that needs to change, either this person's or yours, but that's coming up. The Ten of Pentacles is reversed, and I think that does point to a future like children, marriage, you know, the whole family thing. This is like laying down foundations. That's still coming up reversed, so I feel like you might need to sift through some of these things, Taurus. This person may not necessarily want the same things you want, so especially when it comes to around like, when it comes to family or children or some sort of values in that sense, may not necessarily be the same as yours. And that's what's coming up here. But I would say Emperor season is coming up most prominently. So they may be connecting with you in the time of Aries. The opportunity for you to have another chapter together is coming up. But like I said, I feel it's auspicious with the Ace of Wands. When they do come back, I feel like they're going to be quite forward. And I feel like they're going to be like very intense. I don't feel like it's a subtle coming back. I feel like they're going to come back very strongly, Taurus, very forward. You know, it's lustful. It can be seen as a phallic symbol. So you may even sleep together or connect physically before you come together. So it's like physically you're attracted, and that's the driving force behind that, maybe. It could also be an Aries friend that you may go out with, or that may sort of be a mutual friend between the both of you, and they might sort of help you out somehow. They might sort of steer the two of you back together. But the Eight of Swords, the fact that it's reversed, I think points to a good thing. I think it's like losing the anxiety, because normally when it's upright, the swords are sort of dug into the ground, but when it's upside down, sort of the swords have the ability to fall, you know, and not be stuck here. So I feel like it points to a good thing in this connection, and it would definitely indicate that there's a possibility that the anxiety or the pressure this person once felt can be gone, because if they felt anxiety to begin with and that's why they moved away, then it could indicate that they feel much more reassured, or there's a message here that they need constant reassurance that things are going to be okay, not to get anxious. And it's more like the little stuff. They may really sweat the small stuff, Taurus, and as a result you may need to step up and be the as you normally are. But, you know, I see you as a very anchored sign, as a very grounded sign. And this person might be more in their head. So I do feel like they need constant reassurance. But if you're going to give that to them, I feel like they will respond well to that. It could also be at some sort of event that the two of you might bump into each other. But again, you need to sift through that. I think this needs to be discussed. But I think it's a good sign to have the 10 and the Queen of Pentacles in the same reading, because it would indicate the two of you coming together on the same page with tradition, with values, with where you see yourself in a few months or a few years' time. But like I said, Aries season, or an Aries friend maybe, that could bring the two of you closer together. I always see this as the long distance future. So for some of you, there is potential for you to be together or reconnect seriously further into the future rather than the immediate or near future. So for some of you, it's a relationship or a connection that resides more in the distant rather than the immediate future. But again, that might not necessarily be for all of you, Taurus. It might just be for some. But again, beautiful that you go from the 10 to the Queen of Pentacles. So I think that is pointing to a good sign. But like I said, I feel like they're going to come on fairly strongly. It's fairly like... they might not try to be as controlling, or you will not be as controlling, and they're not going to feel, I don't think they're going to feel that Knight of Wands energy anymore. That's going to change for them because the Emperor is reversed. You know, when he's upright, he gives orders and we have his attention and it's confronting. He is reversed. So again, I do feel like there's still an element of control. It's either to be less controlling about what's happening between the both of you, or this person needs to learn that. And maybe them moving away from you is the only way to do that. Maybe there's a lesson to be learned here for them. And then they'll come back to you. And you can have that adoring relationship. A relationship that you dream of, Taurus. You're coming up as the Queen, the 10 and the Queen. So... and you know, you've got the Pentacle. You're holding it in your arms here. So I do feel like you will hold this person in your arms again. You will be... looking into their eyes, you will be feeling them, you will be, you know, getting their touch, you will connect in that aspect. And you may not see it now. 8 of Swords can be not seeing your vision. You may not see it now, but it can happen. And like I said, unexpectedly. But I think the anxiety, either your anxiety about the future or theirs, will dissipate when you do connect. So it'll improve, it'll get better, it'll be something very healthy, something very good for both you and this person. Okay. It could be a message here with the 8 of Swords not to hide anything as well, Taurus, to be completely open. And if you do have some anxieties about something, you need to share that. And I feel like maybe in some ways they might reassure you of certain things and it'll help you. You'll feel more settled, Taurus, which is, I think, a good sign. 10 of Pentacles, I don't know if this is like family getting involved somehow. If it's not discussing family in the future, then I feel like if they do come back, there might be an opportunity, because the Ace of Wands is right next to this card, to introduce this person to their family or friends. Or they may want to sort of bring you deeper into their world and meet and want you to meet the people that are special to them. So, I mean, that would indicate that this person does have a high level of interest, actually. So it'll be interesting to see how that unfolds for you, Taurus. But look, I will leave your reading at that. Thank you again so much for tuning in.